Hi, I'm Lonnie with ShowHauler, and I'd like to do a walkthrough and showing you some of the major features of our coach. Alright, this is a short cord compartment where we would have our removable short cord that plugs right in here, and then it will go through the spin out here if you wanted to, and you can pull it right through and keep your door shut, plug into your campground or into your house. Then up here is the automatic transfer switch. If you go from plugged in to generator, it will automatically transfer, so you don't have to use a switch to turn it off and on. So then also on the wall here is the resettable breakers for your 7-way Bargeman plug. What it is, we're wired to, in case you would have a trailer and you plug in or you're towing your car and the plugs aren't wired exactly the same, it'll just hit below our breaker. So we will always have clearance lights, and you have to wire yours differently or make it match ours. Then you can just push down the resettable breaker, and this way you can use your plug. Okay, standard on ours is a 40,000 pound 2 5/16 ball pitch. Now you can get a 2-inch receiver if you like. So coming over here is a 7-way Bargeman plug. You hook up your car to, or anything, your trailer, with a 7-way standard 7-way Bargeman. Now there are breakers on the inside of a compartment. The 50 amp, this is a standard 50 amp short cord. If you have problems like with your house or something, you can always plug in and power up your house off your generator, or you can power up a trailer. If you had a trailer that had an air conditioner or something like that, you can power right up and not have to have the generator in your trailer. Our standard is an 8K diesel generator, 8,000 watt diesel generator. That's standard. You can go all the way up to a 20K, but 8 is standard. And it's got a start switch here, so you can start it outside. It's got another one inside. You just hold it till it preheats, fires up, and you're good. Shut it off. Same thing. Just push down, it shuts off. And also, I want you to know there's a breaker out here. So in case you're having, like, you're not getting electrical inside, you could use your automatic transfer switch, make sure it's not that. But the first thing to check is your breaker to make sure the switch is on, that it didn't trip. Other than that, there's nothing else to do besides taking off the cover, and it's easy access underneath for your air filter, access your oil filter, and if you want to do oil change, plug is at the bottom, you can do its own drain. Alright, this is the battery compartment. It's usually on the driver's side right here, back behind the driver's compartment. 4 12-volt batteries is standard. This gentleman went with 4 6-volt batteries to increase his battery time. They're always close to the inverter, next to the inverter, or right across from the inverter. And you can have your choice of batteries, but this would be a standard battery bank. This is the master cutoff for our 12-volt outside equipment. The power disconnect is right here. On an outside compartment, it's always with the outside fuse block. So what you'll have is anything that's outside, whether it's your outside steps, your outside awnings, lights, slide outs, anything that will get you home. So in case your inverter or a converter would go bad, as long as you have battery power, everything for the outside is right here. So if you have a main disconnect, the outside fuse block, so if your steps, anything with your, say your outside steps didn't work, and you're looking for a fuse block, it's outside. In this particular unit, it doesn't have inverter, so it has a converter. So this has got the power converters right here in the outside compartment. So everything, if you ever need anything with your fuses for your outside disconnect or outside fuse block, it will always be in the compartment wherever your inverter or your converter would be with the main disconnect. If you have an inverter, an outback inverter, it'll be close to or next to the battery compartment. And with the inverter, it also is going to be in the same compartment as outside disconnect for all the batteries outside with the battery fuse block. So everything that doesn't run off the inverter and it's outside will be on this same panel. Alright, each coach is going to come with a battery separator. It's either going to be in the battery compartment or in the fuel tank compartment, and it's mounted right to the frame of the truck. So what it's for is when you're driving down the road and your truck is on and the batteries on your truck get above 12.2 amps, it'll open up the battery separator and start charging the batteries for your coach batteries. So if you're driving down the road, it'll keep your coach batteries charged. Or if for some reason your batteries go down and go dead and you try to start your generator and it doesn't start, fire up your truck in a matter of a few minutes. It will charge your battery enough to fire up the generator, because a small generator doesn't take very much to start up on a single battery. Also for your third switch, complete shutoff, on Freightliners in the Cascadia, it's going to be here mounted by the seat. It's a shutoff for your cab battery disconnect for your cab. And if it's a Volvo, it'll be on the wall right here. It's just a toggle switch up and down you'll have here. So all of our chassis will have this. Usually in the bathroom is where your electrical system's going to be. So if you see vented doors, you open them up, you're going to have the main square D breaker system with the main breaker. This turns off everything. This is the main 50 amp breaker for out back. Then you have the inverter breaker that shuts off the complete inverter. Then this just has a third AC. So you're going to have the AC on its own breaker. So when you pull this panel off, this is where all the multiplex wiring is for all your light switches, and this is labeled for all your breakers, all your fuses. So if you have fuses here, if something goes out, find the panel, pull it, replace it with another regular car fuse. But this is all strictly for your multiplex wiring on your light switches. Okay, above it's going to be your panel for your inverter. So when you have this, everything that's on the inverter is marked right here. It'll change from 12 volt to 110, and it's all on this system here. Anything else that's on 12 volt would be on this side, like your ceiling fans, your vents, your thermostats, and these would all be labeled too. So if your thermostat doesn't work, pull it out, put it in a new 15 amp fuse. And after that, on top, it's just going to be the main breaker for everything else that's on 110. The main switches, the air conditioning, the primary in your secondary for your Oasis 110, the electric cooktop, and your vanity plugs. These are all set up on regular 110 outlets. The power shutoff, all 12 volt shutoff for inside the coach, not outside, but for inside. This will shut all the lights, all the O2 sensors, everything off inside. And this will go just off like this, and it shuts everything off. Turning it on is just back on. If you have a gas water heater, we have a 12-gallon gas water heater. These would be, you take the cover off, there's two resets right here. So the first thing, if you're not having hot water, you check the resets. Also make sure that this on-off switch is on. This is for the electric. We always leave this on. All right, so this is all there is to the gas water heater. Now underneath the kitchen sink is where your gas water heater will be, 12-gallon gas water heater, and your main cutoff, your inside power cutoff. And you'll also have your main drains for the drain the hot and the cold water, the low point drains. This is your hot water bypass for your water heater. You're going to turn this on when you do a winterizing. Turn this one on, turn the hot water so it doesn't go into the hot water heater, and turn the cold so it doesn't go out. So when hot water is going to come in, when you put the antifreeze in, it's going to go through here, loop through here, and then go out to all your hot water lines, but it won't go into your hot water heater. And then you have the two low point drains for your hot and cold. So you turn those on when you drain all the water lines inside to winterize. With the Oasis heat, all you have to do is turn on the burner. It's the igniter right here, the button. So the pilot light will be on. When you go inside and turn it on for the monitor panel, when you're turning it on for a diesel fire, it'll fire up the burner. And then the rest of it is just going to make sure that the cold water lines are on and the hot water line returns. There is a control panel over here that will stay on all the time. You do not need to mess with it. It's for summer circulation, and this will be your drain whenever if you ever wanted to winterize it, you just drain the water that's in the water distribution area. The biggest thing you just got to remember that you have enough hydronic fluid in here between the minimum and maximum so it can circulate your hydronic fluids all the way through into your heating system. You do not have to turn it off. You can always leave it on. All right, if you happen to have a gas and electric or regular RV fridge, it would be here. Remove this panel. Again, there's nothing to do back here except for make sure you're plugged into electric and that your gas is on the on position. Other than that, if there's any issues with your refrigerator, get a service department. Don't mess with it. All right, on your gas, electric refrigerator, the regular RV fridge, you would push this on. It turns on your system, and it's going to be on. You either have mode of AC, LP, or automatic. If you're going to have it on LP, it means that if you have LP in your tank and it's turned on, it'll be running off your gas. If you put it to automatic, it will automatically go from, if you're plugged in, it'll be to 110 automatically, and as soon as you unplug, it'll go right to LP, as long as you have LP and your LP turned on. And then if you go to AC, it'll strictly run off of AC. If you wanted to let you know that there's no LP in, so like you'll hear that sound when there's no LP. Then the other is just an adjustment for temperature if you want it to be colder. And if you happen to have an all-electric refrigerator as opposed to an R-free refrigerator, you have to turn on the inverter, because it'll run off the inverter, be plugged in, or the generator running. Then it's just a matter of opening up, setting the settings, and then it's just a regular house refrigerator. All slide outs have a slide out switch, so this is going to be just in and out. So you're going to go out. Now when you're coming in, if you hear this a clicking sound, like it'll be brrr, that means it's okay. It's just a slip clutch. It means it's got plenty of power, but it's not going to burn up your motor. Otherwise, you're just going to go out, and you have to hold the button, so in case there'd be something, an object in the way, you would stop it. So when it gets all the way out, you're going to hear it draw down. You know you're all the way out and you're sealed. This is how a slide would seal. It's going to be about the same straight up and down, and I'll show you how to adjust the slide to make sure it shuts from the top and closes at the bottom. Alright, the only adjustments we have on our slide out is the arms adjustment, outside arm. So what it's going to be is there's a bolt right here, one on each side. On all the slides have a bolt on this arm and a bolt for the other arm. You bring in the slide, the top should hit first, and then the bottom motor pulls it in. So what you want to do is, when you have this adjusted, it's going to be coming in, and the top of the rubber will hit first and then pull the bottom in. So to do that, you're just moving the arm up or down. If it's far out at the top, you adjust it down. If it's far out at the bottom, you adjust it up. And that's all there is for adjustments on our slides. To service a slide out, to lubricate it, all you have to do is, every slide has got arms on the side. It's got a steel post going up, and you have steel going up and down, so it slides up and down. So if your slide is going out slower, or you have a little more of a tougher time getting in and out, grease these arms so it slides up and down smoother. You'll have one on the outside, the other side, and on the inside. You both. This arm is actually on the inside as well, so when you bring it in, you would have that same arm. We use spray oil, like a spray lubricant, like Slick 50 or WD-40 on the arms. Next you will do is underneath the slide, they have the two shafts, the drive shafts. Underneath to lubricate, all you have to do is lubricate the two drive shafts. The motor's here, the drive shaft goes through here. Just put Slick 50 in here, and you'll have the same thing down at the other side, and that's all you have to do for service. Okay, this is the manual crank that comes standard with your coach. In case you'd ever have problems with your slide out, the motor would break, or the wiring or your battery would be dead, all you gotta do is pull this plug out, put it in here, and you have a 3/4 inch bit, and just turn it, and it has a drive shaft on here, like a screw drive on a jack, and it'll come straight out and straight back in, so you can always get home or always get your slide out. Also, another feature we have, anytime there's any outside compartment doors that's underneath the slide, it has a double stage shock, so when you lift it up, it's only going to open halfway, so it would never interfere with your slide if it came out. But if you need to get in here and the slide's in, you just tap it again and it will go all the way up. All right, for our multiplex lighting, you're going to have all of the lighting systems are labeled and easy to read, so you can tell what you're using. You push a button, it turns on the black, make it orange, the backlight to make it orange. And then if you hold the button, like say you'd have for the lights, you hold it, they'll dim. And then if you push it again, they get brighter on any light that's on the multiplex wiring. And anywhere you see backlight, it'll be by your door or in your bedroom, it'll say backlight. You touch backlight, it turns off any light that's not lit up, so it's backlight. What you'll have is, if you hold the backlight button, it turns off all the lights. Everything that's on the multiplex, it'll turn it off. You're going to have a remote gen start right here. Always when you come in the door, so you can always start it. Again, just hold it, let it preheat, and it fires up, and then it shows the monitor, will show you how many hours are on the motor. Okay, right inside from your door, you're going to have an awning switch. This happens to be a Dometic Weather Pro awning, out and in button. And then down here you're going to have for outside compartment lights. For your outside compartments, this turns the power to the lights. Every compartment will have a light on it, except some of them that can't, like where there's a dump tank or battery compartment. But they don't automatically come on. So you have to turn the switch on and off. This just shows that there's power to them. So if you come in and want to make sure all your outside compartment lights are off, turn the switch off, and you know the power is gone. So there's no lights that could possibly be on outside. This is your step switch. So when you don't, if you have this in the on position, every time you open and close this door, the step will stay out. If you put this on, every time you open and close that door, that step goes in and out. All right, underneath your sink is your main compartment. The bottom switch is for your water pump. Red light means that it's on. The next would be your LP, then your battery, fresh water, black water, gray tank. It'll tell you the monitor system where it's at. All right, so that's your monitor system and your pump. Right beside it, if you have a gas electric water heater, electric's on this switch if your 110 is on or plugged in. Now, if you're doing gas, this doesn't have LP in it. So here's what's going to happen. You turn it on, it's saying, I turned on. And it's going to think, it's now pushing its little arm out and it's pushing down the pilot light, trying to light. It's going click, 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 click. All of a sudden, it's going to go off saying, okay, we're lit. Well, we know there's no LP there. So if that's off, that means it's working after you've turned it on. It should come back on. That means it's not working. That means something is a fault. We don't have, your LP isn't on, something is amiss. So now you know you got to go out. If this light's on, that means it's not working if you've turned the valves on. If you have a Weather Pro awning, this is the wind sensor here, and you can adjust the speed for your wind sensor. So if it's a mild wind and you want it to come back in, you set it here. If you're out there and it's a little windy and the breeze kicks up, but you don't want it going in and out all the time, just kick up the speed. All right, if you have a kitchen slide, or if all of your monitor panels aren't underneath your kitchen front cabinet, it's going to be in a cabinet somewhere, usually by the door. This is the complete power shutoff. This would be outside compartment light switch, step switch, so it stays steps on and off. Outside tank heaters, so your holding tanks are heated in the wintertime. This is your monitor panel, water pump, batteries, fresh and gray and black tanks. This has got Oasis hydronic heat, so it's zoned heating. So you have to turn on the heat, and this would be diesel heat. It's diesel powered, and if you're plugged in, it has electric 1 and 2. Always use 2. Don't ever use 1 because it's got 2 elements. This is the Girard awning, so you turn it on, out, and in. It also has a motion sensor, so it would come in with the wind. Then you have your remote start for your diesel generator. And then this is the Outback 2800 watt inverter. Push the button and you turn it on. That's all you have to do. It's either on or you hit the off button. There's no sense messing with all the controls. The thermostats are pretty much like you'd have at home. It's for your air conditioning or your heat. The front thermostat, if you have a gas furnace, runs the gas furnace front to back. So the only thermostat you have is here for the furnace. The one in the bedroom or your second or third air conditioner will only run the AC or the heat strips in your air conditioners. All of our air conditioners come with heat strips, not heat pumps. So it only runs off of 110. So if you want gas furnace, you'd set the thermostat to what temperature you want, put it to gas furnace, and it will automatically turn on your gas furnace through the whole coach. Now if you want to use, and you're not supposed to use your gas furnace driving down the road, because if you have a crosswind, it can take the exhaust, push it back in and take the flame and put it down the side of your coach. So only use the gas furnace when you're parked. Now, if you want electric heat, all of your air conditioners have heat strips, not heat pumps. So you put on electric heat. It's got to be within 3 to 5 degrees of the ambient temperature, of your room temperature. Otherwise, it knows to turn on your gas furnace to heat up faster, so you don't have to take so long to bring up the temperature to what you want it to be. So you got cool, off, gas heat, electric heat, and then high and low. Our air conditioners are ducted in the ceiling duct. But if you're in a warm climate where you've left it closed up and you want quick cool, you open up these little levers and it leaves all the air coming out that can possibly come out of the air conditioner and make it a quick cool, cooling a lot faster. All right, for the Oasis system, and if you have 3 air conditioners, the front thermostat you'll have up front in the living area will run the front heat, the gas heat, and it will also run the front air conditioner. This center one, this is for the middle air conditioner. Even though it says electric heat or gas heat, it only runs the air conditioner. The second zone, the thermostat for the rear air conditioner, will also run the rear bedroom heat off the Oasis, and it will also run strip heating in the air conditioners, but if you put it on gas heat, it will also do the rear hydronic heat with the Oasis for the bedroom and the rear bath. So if it happens to have a ceiling fan, front or rear, you're going to have this in the living room or in the bedroom. You just turn it on. It's got a reverse and a 3-speed fan. These are fantastic vents, ceiling vents. In the bathroom you're going to have one. Out by the kitchen you're going to have one. And you can use them manually. You just push the button once and it's going to turn on. You can set for, if you use this side, it's for speed. You press the other side, it's for temperature. If you set it for 60, 70, 80 degrees, it'll try to keep, what it does, if it's 89 or 90 degrees in here and you have it set at 70, the fan will run faster. As soon as it gets closer to temperature, it will automatically slow down. Like you can hear it shutting. I just turned it off, so now you can hear it's closing. So if you set it to one side, it's temperature, other side is manual. This is our standard sound system. You have an AM/FM DVD player here with speakers in the ceiling. So this would just be channel 1, channel 2, whatever you want to do for your sound system. Over here would be your satellite system. You'll just pull the card out, call your local service, give them the card number, initiate it, and it'll be ready to go. Then you'll have, this is our Blu-ray player, and on top of it is the switcher box that goes from the outside to the inside. Okay, usually up in the kitchen cabinet, overhead cabinet, or it's close to your satellite receiver is going to be, this happens to have an in-motion satellite, so you have to turn on the satellite so it can rotate to find its satellite. You'll hear it go on. So once it locks in, and then you're good to go, and you can lock in and stay locked into all of your satellite systems. Next would be, this is for your power TV, local TV antenna. It's a booster antenna, so if the green light's on, that means this button is pushed. So if you're trying to watch satellite, you may want to turn this off so you don't get any electrical interference on 12 volt to 110. But when you push this button for local TV or digital TV, it's a digital antenna, it's a booster antenna, so you'll get better reception on local channels. Alright, on a cab cutout with a fiberglass front cap, what we have is we put the entertainment system up front here. Normally it would have plexiglass doors on it, but we left them off so we could shoot the video to show where you're at. This is a Sony surround sound, and it's going to have the bass system underneath the dinette, and then everything else is going to be set through here. Your speakers are going to be in the ceiling. You use this knob to select whether you want to have it on the FM, AM, USB port, or through your TV, and everything else on here for videos, TV, or satellite. This will be your volume. Next above it is going to be your satellite system. This is set up for a satellite that's in motion. Again, you just press it, pull the card out, call them up, and get it activated. Above it is your Blu-ray player, and if you have a Wi-Fi Ranger, this would be the setup for your router for that. And then your front TV is on a swing arm, so you can pull the lever, bring it out, and move it to the direction you want to see. Okay, on our jackknife sofa, it just pulls up and it pulls out to make a bed, and then to make it longer, you can pull up the arms, pull off both sides arms. So instead of having your 70-inch sofa, now you have over 6 feet front to back if you take off both arms. This would be a standard dinette where it can make into a sleeper. You just pull the table up, take the lever, move the leg down, bring it down, set it down. Then the paddings, all of the seat cushions are snapped on, whether it's on the back or the front. Push them out and it'll lay down into a bed. So you have almost 6 feet of a bed space here. All right, here is how they snap to the bottom. And you can open up to the bottom of the dinette, or you can use the door and access underneath. All shower heads are going to have an on-off switch. So you can turn the water head off. You can leave the valve on. So you can rinse, lather up, turn it off while you're lathering up. Turn it back on when you want to rinse. So this way you're not using as much water. So it's an easy on and off switch. And also when you shut the showers, they have a magnetic latch, but make sure you put the travel latch on so the doors don't open as you're traveling down the road. Anytime you see a panel on the wall like this, it's just the access panel to the shower. So it'll always be on the back wall where the head and the faucet is of your shower. If you have a bed slide out, Underneath the nightstand on this side will be where your water pump is. The water pump is right here underneath this cabinet. And then right beside it, underneath on the side of the bed, is going to be a door with access to your water tank drains, the potable water tank drains. So if you have 2 drains, there'll be 2 water drains that go drain out right below the floor. Okay, here's where the water pump compartment is. There should be 2 of these shut-offs or turn-ons way in the back here, because you have 2 water tanks underneath the bed. So in case you'd have one has a crack or there's a leak in one, you can turn one off and just fill the other one. You don't want to have, like, you want to fill them both. If you would have one empty and one full, you'd be drawing air from the one. So you would turn it up one or other off. That should be in the back. This front on and off switch is what I was saying outside in the water compartment. When you're on city water fill, once you've filled it and you've turned the low point drain and you're coming from the summer to a winter climate, you want to turn this off. This turns the water, so when you turn this pump on, the water does not go back out to the outside compartment and fill that manifold where your city water fill is and all. So all water will stay above inside the coach. All right, to winterize this, what you're going to do is we give you this hose. It's got the same connection you would have from the suction side of your pump. It's going to go down here, and it's going to go right here. Take it off, put this on it, put your 2 gallons or 1 gallon at a time of RV antifreeze right here, stick the hose in it, turn your pump on, and then you can run all your lines through all your showers, faucets, toilets, and make sure you have the pink antifreeze in all the drains. Underneath the bed in this compartment, you're going to have the tank drains, the water tank, fresh potable water tanks. If you have 2 tanks, you have this one, you turn it on, turn this on, and it will drain your water tanks. So if you're going to winterize it, so there'll be no water in your tanks. And so it's just on and off. This is strictly to drain your water tanks, your potable water. All right, this is our dump compartment. So the 3-inch tube, the bigger tube, is for your black tank. You would open it up first after you've opened the cap, after you put your drain tube on. Then you would open up the smaller 1.5-inch tube is for your gray tank. And you can hook it right under here, and if you're draining straight out, you can go in this way, but it's also adjustable, so you can move it down and take the spin out and drain it straight through if you're at a park or you want to constantly dump. And then over here is your fill. You take your hose, your city water, or if your hose, when you're filling up, put a hose on here. And if you're doing city water, where you're just going to use the water from a campground or from your house and not your potable water, you turn this on, and that puts this direction all the way in, so it bypasses your water pump and it feeds all of your faucets, your toilets, your showers. Then, if you're going to be just filling the potable water, you turn on pump 1. This happens to have 2 75-gallon tanks. So you put your hose on here, put on potable tank 1 until it starts overflowing in the back, or you can walk inside and do your monitor, watch your monitor panel and see what it's full. Once it's full, either coming out of the back, you can turn this one off, turn on tank 2, it will keep filling here until it's full, or overflowing, or the monitor tank shows it's full, and then you can turn it off, and this way it's all full. You can stop your tank, and then you want to turn on your low point drain and let it drain all the water out of your system. This is your black tank flush. Just put your water hose on here, and it sprays the water into the other side of your tank, and it'll clean out your black tank, and just keep this open so it doesn't fill your black tank. All right, standard if you have an LP gas unit, not all electric, would be a 50-gallon LP tank, and it can be right here. It'll usually be on the rear of the driver's side. If not, we can also mount them underneath the frame rails, between the frame rails, behind the tires. This coach has an option for the LP quick disconnect, so if you put a grill here, like an LP grill, you could pull it out, hook up to we give you the hookup for it. You just take it and get your gas company to make you a hose, put it on here, and this way your setup will run right off your LP tank, your 50-gallon LP tank, off the coach. This would be your warranty, the ShowHauler warranty folder. So when you open it up, it has your build number in front. So like this happens to be 1600, so if you want to call in, you can use your name. But if you call and say, I have unit 1600, they're going to pull that file right away and get to it. Okay, so the main thing is this is all the paperwork for everything that's in here, whether it's a refrigerator, the water pump, anything here. So you can go through all the manuals and read them. But the major thing is the very front section is the ShowHauler part. And you're going to have a ShowHauler video that does this walkthrough. Then if it has heated holding tanks, you would have a video on that. This shows the 2-year warranty from ShowHauler. But this, the main thing is you're going to have the warranty phone numbers for every appliance, everything here. So you can call us, but I know it's hard to believe we did not make the Whirlpool refrigerator. So you can look under Whirlpool, call them and talk, but you can always call us if you need to. But this is every phone number for the appliance or anything that's in here. This is a schematic for outside for your water tank. So if you want to remember how to turn on tank 1, tank 2, city water fill, low point drain, it's all right here. Then also we have every appliance serial number and model number is right here. So if you have a problem with your generator or something, you're calling Onan, you can go generator, serial number, model number is all right here, so you don't have to go out and look at it. Whether it's your refrigerator, microwave, whatever, all your serial numbers and model numbers are here. This is the schematic for our motorhome. This is how it was built. So if you want to know where anything's at on here, the water pump, the low point drains, anything like that, this is how they built this motorhome. And I'll show you all the multiplex wiring. Everything is on here. How your electronics are wired, everything is right here, and then all your fuse blocks. So everything right here you could check to go through the ShowHauler manual.